What's up, everybody? The Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 3v3 on Buckland. So, we'll see if it's a good match or not. I hope so. Alright. Well, let's see who we got here. We got Solas as our first player here. That's the Dwarves on the first team, and we have his allies J2 Shot as Men of the West in the center, and silmarilli, which is probably silmarilli on, I would assume it would be the full name. There is the Men of the West as well on the right. The opposing team, we have Aber, or Aber. I always call him Aber, so I'm just going to keep calling him Aber. It's Isengard there. And we have Bauer as Mordor. Jack Bauer. No, just probably not Jack Bauer from the hit show 24. No, it's Bauer as Mordor there. And we have the final player on their team, Hombre, as Goblins. Very nice. So we have Goblins, Mordor, Isengard versus Dwarves, Men, and Men. So we have a good versus evil. Interesting. Cool. Alright, Solas is going for a, looks like a archer range starts. So he'll be getting either, probably axe sword, I would imagine. And it looks like I've already forgotten who this player was. J2 Shots. J2 Shots going for, I almost called that stables. That would be a barracks. A barracks start there. He'll be getting Gondor soldiers out. And similarly on doing something very similar to that, except for placing his barracks in a different spots. J2 Shots opting to go for the back spot, and defending this side of his farm with it. That's where similarly on just putting it out in the front. Which either way works, I guess. Alright, Hombre's going for a Spiderling start. Very interesting. That'll actually do pretty well against the Gondor soldier start, I think. Pretty sure they win in 1v1 fights, as they are meant to counter swordsmen, after all. And it looks like we have a orc start here. 2k orc pit start, rather, for Bauer there. And then Aber is going for, looks like Urkai and then crossbows. Not bad. That's a pretty powerful start for them. I'm curious to see how the Spiderlings are going to do. Is he going to engage, or is he going to opt to not? Let's see how well they do. Spiderlings just do the damage. It's just, can they tank the damage? Oh yeah, they're eating these things alive, especially with the back cloud. Although Spiderlings are taking some casualties, not too much though. Not considering how well they just cleaned up there. And then he should be free to go start harassing farms and such. And he put his guys in hold ground stance, of course, to keep his spiders taking more damage. They, by default, should be better in general against swordsmen, so being in hold ground stance will keep them from still get the bonus, but they'll tank it better, I guess would be the way to say that. Solas has got a forward archer. What? Solas has got 2 archer ranges, one of them being very forward. Oh, he's lucky his builder didn't get killed there. He threw it in a wall hub. Managed to save it just in time. So he's going full-on axe spam here against Eisen. And Aber, of course, has got some swords. They're tanking it well, but of course they're not going to get very far. But as you see, when Urkai are in hold ground stance in shield wall, they actually can tank quite nicely. They live very long for taking a lot of range fire. Oh, Solas lost a builder there. Some orc rabble. That's unfortunate for him. Bauer sent some orcs over here to assist, looks like, getting rid of Solas' stuff. They're definitely going to want to try and take Solas out of the match if they can, as Solas is a powerhouse. And we have, it looks like Aber's going for the outpost there. Anyone's got this one? Looks like the Goblin player has it. Hombre. And he's also gotten a farm. He's got Goblin Warriors coming out. He's still using the spiders. No, he's opted to switch off the Spiderlings for now. Probably transfer into Spider Riders later on, but he's going full on Goblins now, which is not a bad transition by any means. Solas' strategy seems to be working quite nicely. And unfortunately, Aber's his unit composition is really not favoring him very well. He's still building Urkai swordsmen, which are really not very good against Axors. So I don't know if that's the best of ideas. I'd say you need Warg Riders at this point, but even then, you're gonna need like 3 battalions of Warg Riders to get rid of that, I think. That's a lot of Axors, otherwise they're just gonna burst you down. You send 1 battalion of Warg Riders in here, they're gonna hit the Dwarves. They're not gonna kill them very well, because they're Dwarves. They don't trample very well. And then they're just gonna get burst down by a lot of axes. He's literally just full-on committed to the Axor spam, which is very interesting. And it seems to be working quite well. I mean, Aber is not able to deal with this, and of course they're great against units and buildings. Dwarven Axlors are incredible. So it's going to be a problem for Aber very soon, and Bauer is definitely going to need to help him out here, and it looks like he is moving into position to do so. But of course the player, J2 Shots, I forgot his name twice already. I apologize, J2. He's not going to sit idly by while he goes and helps. So this is a great time for him to attack Bauer while he goes to aid his ally Aber there. And it looks like silmarilli is defending, but there is a pretty good amount of goblins on the field from Hombre. So silmarilli is just going to chill on his base here and try and defend the goblin waves as he can, it looks like, because he's surrounded. Let's see how this is going. Solas is pushing very boldly, using his builder to good effect as well, putting up forward mines and statues and stuff, making it very difficult to get the dwarves out of here. Once the dwarves get dug in, so they dig in deep, good luck getting them out of there. I think they're going to be here for a while. So let's use a rebuild there, keep that mine alive, just for a little bit. So at least they're good to tank the damage, you know, stop his Axors from taking damage. As you see, 1 battalion of Warg Riders doing pretty much nothing. And that's about what I expected to happen. I killed a few. Or did they? Yeah, there's a few in there. A few dead Axors. Solas is throwing up a Forge Works, a very forward Forge Works. Fortunately, Bauer does spot that and get rid of it before Demolisher gets brought out, or a Battle Wagon. Either one would be pretty bad, I would imagine. I mean, slowly but surely the axes are being killed, but of course axes, you got to keep in mind, are only 250 or 240 now that he has a statue up. So obviously they're pretty cheap, all things considered. 240 is by no means very expensive for a unit of this strength. So they will continue doing well, and even if this army does die, he will just get a new one. So I think this might be GG for Aber, perhaps. A couple of these are level 5 as well, which is pretty crazy. And now Solas is into prime position to actually throw up a Forge Works again. Bauer's going to send all the help he can. And we got some Haradrim Lancers. That's a good one. Would have been good to throw the Chain of Land down before doing that, probably, but still. They're getting some good kills in there. They're losing a lot of units as well, as you hear by their death screams, but dwarves are just so sturdy. It's unfortunate. Well, there's still a lot of Axors there, and there's not Men of Dale as well. Ugh. See, there's 1 charge there. It takes 2 charges, it looks like, to kill these Dwarven Axors. A third because they missed some. And of course, putting them in hold ground stance helps a bit with their defensive capabilities. Alright, J2 Shots has himself, oh, I thought it was a hero, just a single Gondor soldier. Has an army pushing out here to engage Hombre, who now has Spider Riders on the field. Oh, he's so close! He was so close. Unfortunately, he does get trampled, and Hombre continues to hold the outpost. Aber showing he's in dire need of aid. Once this Demolisher gets deployed in front of his fort, it's gone, pretty much. I don't foresee them getting rid of it. And he has no Warg Riders, unfortunately, coming out. Warg Riders would be a good choice to get rid of it. There it is. The deploy. The deploy right now, the armor you get from deploying is like 200%. It's crazy. That is being nerfed, of course. But in the current state, the deploy mode is very overpowered. So once it gets deployed in front of your base, you better hope you have a hero, that's all I'm saying. Unfortunately, the top team does not have a rebuild. They're all evil teams. And there will be no rebuilds. And Aber's fort does fall. Oh, sad day for Aber. And that just shows the strength of the Dwarves. Solas has said his favorite team is the Dwarves as well, so he knows what he's doing with them for sure. Although I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing with every faction, to be fair. Looks like Silmarillion is pushing out though. If Silmarillion and J2 can push out, they should be alright, but I think Hombre and Bauer are going to be in a tough spot now that Aber's fallen pretty much. Because without Aber, they're going to have to face Solas as well as the other two. And of course that will lead to their destruction, I would imagine. So, I would imagine the southern team is going to win this battle, but you never know, I guess. The odds of the northern team winning are slim. But we'll see how they fight it out. Of course. We've got a Boromir here from Silmarillion. Very nice. Old Sean Bean doing his duty for Gondor. Oh yes. I love Spider Riders. Spider Riders is so useful. Because they can trample, and if there's a lot of pikes, just switch to bow mode. Same with Rohirrim, of course. I like the mobility of Spider Riders better, though. I like the tankiness of Rohirrim much more, as you would expect. Rohirrim are pretty much the best cav in the game, other than like Black Riders or Dull Armroth Knights or something. But Dull Armroth Knights are not tanky. They drop pretty quick. It's just they do a pretty high amount of damage. But once they get that glorious charge, they are much more tanky, of course, as you would expect. And Bauer is starting to make an attack on Solas here. Interesting. Of course, Solas is pushing into Bauer's base, but he's sending... Ah, those are summoned. Those don't matter if they die. He's going for Battle Wagons and Demolisher. Intriguing. And of course, he's taking over the north area here. And he's still got his Forge Works there as well. Bauer's going to have to do some serious crippling damage to Solas if he's going to win, I think. And it looks like Silmarillion starting to push forward against Hombre as well. Although he probably won't get too far with the small force that he has there currently. Hombre's able to put out pretty sizable forces of goblins. He's got tons of them queued up as well, and he's also going for mountain giants. So soon that mountain giant support will be very, very good. But J2 and Solas together should be able to crush Bauer without too much trouble, I think. So hopefully for Bauer's sake, he doesn't actually push over here. He sent out 3 battle wagons though. 2 of them having Axelorg upgrades, 1 of them having the banner upgrade, gives him a pike on it. And he's also using the Demolisher. So he's favoring a heavy siege works type army here. Which is interesting, to say the least. It works. He's also thrown up an undermine there. You'd probably be asked, why would he use it there? Well, that's why. So he can get into his mine shaft. Also, there's probably no farms around it, so it's actually a nice farm as well. You can actually see where he's teleporting to. Where'd he go? Does he have a mine over here? Nope. I'm curious to see where he pulled out his army. Oh, he just pulled him back out of here. Fair enough. As you see, he's using the Demolisher to tank the damage there. Once it deploys, it can just sit there and tank damage. Obviously, it's a huge threat, so it has to be targeted down. But there is Black Riders here. They'll help get rid of the battle wagons nicely, but of course there is a lot of units around them, and I don't think they should stay here. As they are being a bit overwhelmed. Of course, they are in aggressive stance as well, taking extra damage that they probably shouldn't really need to be taking. I don't really think aggressive stance was a good call there. But he can get away. He is level 4. They will start regenerating, so it's not that big of a deal. Solas does have this hill firmly under his control. He's also got a tower there with some Metal Dale in it. It looks like a Mordor builder there is dead. J2 shots is pushing out as well. Hombre, on the other hand, over here, looks like he's starting to push Silmarilli on a little bit. They're even screaming, "Run for your lives!" I think that's the mentality the Silmarillion is using right now. And he's also beaconing, summoning that he may need some aid, as Hombre's goblins are pushing in quite aggressively. And there goes a lot of goblins. Pretty much an entire battalion of goblins splatted by his own giant. You gotta be careful where your siege fires, of course. I've said many times. If you're targeting an enemy and then you throw it and they keep moving, your units are going to follow. And they're obviously going to get hit. So obviously, you probably wanted to micro your siege when you're targeting an enemy. Black Riders in this warg sentry actually countering this siege work thing. Demolisher, as they call it. Quite nicely, actually. What was that? Ah, the black arrows from the Men of Dale. Very nice. I didn't recognize the sound. But that would be it. Once again, he's crushing his own armies. Boromir causing massive damage to his own guys. Like, he shouldn't use siege to target down heroes, I think. Generally speaking, it's not a good idea. Because they can run through ranks pretty easily without dying. And just cause havoc amongst your own ranks with your own siege, turning your weapons of war against you. He's also doing a good job of microing his battle wagons, keeping him in and out of harm's way. We do have Mouth of Sauron and Black Riders out here from Bauer there. Very nice, very nice. Ooh, he's gonna be a little bit careful. There are phalanxes there. I'd hate to see him lose these level 5 Black Riders. Mouth of Sauron's level 1. Solas now has a King Dane. Pretty cool. Looks like Aber's trying to reclaim his homeland. Not working out too well. It looks like. And J2 Shots is putting some farms up here as well. Does Aber have a builder? Yes, he does. It's over here. He's building lumber mills around. He's got a rook pit here and a tower. He's got 2 builders actually. He got both of them out there. Looks like, but of course he's probably nowhere near getting a fortress, I would imagine. Let's just see how much money he has. No. It'd be unrealistic. His allies would have to send him tons of money, and of course they're embroiled in a quite heavy war that's probably pretty taxing on their economy, I would expect. Oh, Silmarillion has a Gandalf. Very cool. Getting his Wizard Blast on, as well as using the Lightning Sword earlier, it looks like. The Men of the West is building in power. The Men of the West Coalition, rather, as both the J2 Shots and Silmarillion are over here. So that'll be increasingly more difficult. As of course Solas is keeping Bauer and Aber at bay. They're able to double on the right side. The battle wagons are going to be very, very annoying to deal with, I would imagine. Not doing a ton of damage, but they're doing enough. They're actually killing the Black Riders slowly. Slowly but surely. Ooh, Mouth of Sauron made a huge mistake there. Buffed phalanxes with King Dane. Not the best. Goblins in there as well. Oh, here comes a barrage. That is the Dwarven barrage. Very nice. And it looks like the fortress was cancelled there. Bauer is quit out. And that will be it for him. That leaves Aber alone there. Aber's been defeated as well. He's quit out. Just leaves Hombre by himself. Oh dear. And of course, we can imagine how that's going to go. He'll probably either quit out soon or not. Or be crushed by the entirety of the bottom team. Ooh, Worm Summon from Hombre there. Gandalf going for the Lightning Sword. Doing very good damage to the Giants. Managed to kill one of them, weaken the other one pretty substantially. Gandalf can be quite the savage if you can keep him alive. Lightning Sword's actually very good. I've seen it kill a Drogoth, for God's sakes. So it's very, very useful. Alright, now the dwarves are moving in here. Soul's throwing up an undermine here as well. Bring out another army of dwarves. And Hombre will fall. Albeit in time. It's gonna take a little bit. Tom Bombadil's dancing his way around. Doing a jig, as he does. Alright, now we just watch them finish off Hombre. Pretty much. Shouldn't take long. Not for the dwarves. Between the Shake Foundation and just the huge army of dwarves that are getting buffed, I think it won't take very long. He's also using barrage to take down buildings. It's the fire arrows. Very nice. And the southern team is victorious. Very cool. So yeah, Solas' axe thrower starts was pretty effective, I'd say. So that went pretty well for him. But the northern team gave it a good go. Of course, the southern team pulled out the victory there. Yeah. Hombre probably, if had enough time, he might have won in his 1v1 side. But of course, it's a team game, and if your team doesn't win, you generally won't win. So there you go. Anyways, that was a good match, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So I'll see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King Patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.